Hi everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I'm a holistic health practitioner, soul coaching oracle, and tarot reader, as well as intuitive astrologer and a yoga therapist. I do my work through coaching and readings through all modalities, leading you to a more whole and holistic way of being. I am here today to do our weekly forecast reading. It's been a little bit since I've been here. Having that new baby on top of just getting out of sick season has been a challenge to get around to my recordings lately. So I'm happy to be back here. We're in April already. This reading will be for the week of April 11th through the 17th. So this is just kind of a general overall energy of the week. It's not pertained to any one person or situation, but just kind of the energy that the tarot and oracle gives, along with taking a look at the planetary bodies in astrology that are making any sort of significant shifts. So if it doesn't resonate with you today, maybe just take it as it is, follow your own intuition, but this is just meant to kind of be for the collective today. So thank you. If you haven't been here before, welcome, and let's get into it. So this week we have 3 card decks that wanted to come out. So we'll start with the tarot first. So the tarot deck I'm using this week is the Herb Crafters Tarot. It's one of my favorites to work with, and with springtime and about to go collect and wild harvest some of my own herbs, as well as doing my apothecary opening in May, I really felt drawn to start working with plant medicine again. So we'll start with, we have the Empress represented by Rose, the 7 of Water represented by Birch, the Hia of Water represented by Chamomile, and the Magician represented by Sunflower. So astrologically speaking, we have some Taurus in here, or Venusian ruled signs. We also have a lot of water, so there could be some water sign energy in here, maybe Pisces especially. And then with Magician, we've got some, we've got some Scorpio or Virgo energy as well. So with a Rose and Empress coming up first, I see that there's this period of creativity, of something trying to sort of manifest itself, something that you're really putting a lot of love and dedication into, and this sort of nurturing energy as well. So that could also be towards self-care, learning how to nurture the soul, nurture that feminine aspect of ourselves. Because with the 7 of Water coming to sort of challenge that with Birch energy, we could be facing a lot of choices right now. We're kind of seeing all these different paths to take with this sort of journey of love and creation that's happening. And when we start on these new journeys, there's always a sense of right versus wrong, what seems fulfilling, or even just what can seem distracting, is what the 7 of Cups also brings forward. Is we are kind of thrown in the midst of where we are choosing from old patterns and where we are choosing to go down a new road. Because there is a lot of loving energy wanting to come in, especially with the Hia of Water, also a symbol of the Page of Cups. This sort of gentle, calming energy, this offering of childlike love. And I feel like this is really almost like a journey of seeing the blessings around you, trying to see more of the good rather than the bad. That could be what's happening with this Seven of Cups, is you could be looking at all of your options. You could be looking at different scenarios and kind of seeing the negative side more than you're seeing the positive. And this Empress energy is wanting to call in that abundant love energy, because this Taurus Empress, like mother energy, is very like pugnant. What's the word I'm looking for? Not repugnant. I guess pregnant with opportunity. There's so much love and abundance that is wanting to come in, but we're kind of having to sort of face these quote unquote demons, I want to say. We're being challenged by these past hurts to kind of start a new way of being, and reconnect with that kind of childlike wonder. I also see it with the Magician energy. You know, this is really coming forward to give you that extra oomph power, that you have all the tools necessary to manifest the life that you want. You have all the tools to create abundance and happiness and love. And you also have the tools to take on these new challenges, even if they seem kind of daunting. You could be kind of resisting some of these changes, or resisting going down this path because it's so unfamiliar. You could be stuck in these old ways of thinking, of keeping yourself small, or just programming that was maybe implemented on you as, you know, a child. But this child energy comes forward as a blessing, a little soothing balm to give you, because chamomile is good for the nerves. So I feel like this is really kind of trying to soothe those hurts, those past hurts that are coming through, and turn around to see the blessing and abundance that maybe certain situations have given you, rather than, again, looking at the negative or the cup, you know, half empty. It's all about your perception. And the Magician is here to remind you, like, you wouldn't be going through this if you didn't have the tools already necessary for it. You already are this potent manifester at all times. Our thoughts are always constantly creating. Our words have power. So when we turn that back to, well, what if I lived in a state of seeing abundance, seeing beauty, looking at the sunny side and the beautiful side of life, then what would kind of shift for me? What new opportunities would come my way? And how can I trust myself more to know what's the right direction for me? Because, you know, water is about feeling as well, these two water energies. And Birch is offering a sort of, you know, another direction. It's offering us the chance to be able to look at the bigger picture and see what is the right path for us by that inner knowing, that feeling that comes from our experience of wanting to live in this state of higher love, higher abundance. So for when we start to know that for ourselves, then we know when we're starting to move back into that negative direction, and that's not where we want to go. We want to grow. We want to manifest and create something different for us. Okay, so let's clarify a little bit with our oracles. So 2 oracle decks this week. The first one we have is the Work Your Light Oracle. So the first card we have is the Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling, and Uplifting Humanity. So you could have a connection with the Pleiadian star system. This is also related to Taurus. So this could be really speaking to some of you who are Tauruses or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, because Pleiades is a part of that constellation. So this double mission of channeling and uplifting, that's another way to kind of look at these experiences that you have had. You are this channel for having this human experience, whether you are sort of a star seed through the Pleiades, or if you are, not really into that sort of thing. You are just here to have this human experience for the sake of learning how to uplift yourself and how to show humanity, how to also be in that uplifted and loving state. So often, a lot of times when we're drawn to our light work, when we're drawn to learning how to uplift ourselves, we have to kind of go through the muck. And so it may feel like some of us are going through a rougher patch than others, but it's not so much that perception. It's more about what we glean from that experience, what we choose to grow from, and how we choose to use that to empower ourselves, how to create magic with it, make it stronger, versus looking at it as in a victim mentality, because that's not what this is for. This is like a really strong, purposeful mission for you. So if you've been feeling kind of lost or uncertain about these things, or wondering why this is all happening to you, the spirit is trying to affirm to you that there is this big mission and this deeper calling behind it. Like there is a blessing that you can pull out of this situation. Next we have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's all happening. So yeah, we're trying to, ultimately, most of us are living to try to make the world a better place. If you're doing your light work, if you're doing your deep spiritual work, learning to heal not only what you received from your parents, but like working through that ancestral line and passing it on to your children if you do decide to have children, or just passing it on to the people that are in your life and helping to uplift those around you. Slowly, we are creating heaven and bringing it down here on earth. It's this vibration. It's this place of being. It is this possibility. So again, like picking and choosing how we see and perceive all of the things in life, looking at it not as good and bad, but sort of this like yin and yang, like each is necessary in its own balance. And how do we choose to continue to uplift and use those lessons to raise humanity's vibration, raise our own vibration, and do something to create a better world for everyone. So then the last card we have for that is Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So this week you could be revisiting whether it's past lives, if you believe in any of that, or you could just be revisiting old wounding from childhood, from past experience, stuff that maybe you thought you had worked through might just be resurfacing suddenly. And that's part of what's coming up, is asking you, are you ready to fully release this hurt and see the blessing in it and use it as a tool to gain wisdom? And how do you teach that wisdom out into the world? What is your wisdom to learn? And by turning this into a blessing, like you get to unbind yourself, you get to release and fully let go. And we do have a full moon this week, so it could be really significant around the full moon. What it would be a good time to release and let go of some of those cords. You could possibly do a cord cutting ceremony for yourself. And in simplistic terms, you could also be just releasing yourself from old ways of being, things that were holding you down, whether that's through lifestyle or your health, It could even be just your mental health and patterns that you are ready to release yourself from and move forward. All right, so last oracle deck, we have the Prism Oracle. So sorry for the extra shine on there. These are really shiny. So these are just the different rays of color and what they just simply represent. So the first card we have is Surrender, this kind of very ethereal white silver. So yeah, kind of instead of fighting and resisting and holding this energy of, everything is happening to me, it's against me, the world is out to get me, surrendering and releasing all of this pain and struggle to the higher power, not acknowledging that you, or how do I want to say this? Not ignoring the pain that you do have. That's a whole part of the healing process of allowing it to let go. But the more you make space for it and allow it to surrender, you see the smaller and farther away it becomes. The more you're able to transmute it and allow it to transform you as well, and see it for what it is, rather than trying to just control or make it into a problem that is going to burden you for so long. When you kind of surrender it to the universe, then the universe takes it and gives you the next lesson, gives you the next piece that you're ready for, to keep going, to keep getting stronger, to keep manifesting. All right, so the next one we have is this royal purple color for intuition. So this could be starting to get you more in touch with following your inner guidance. That could be what the situation has brought up for you. That could be part of the blessing. But also just trusting your intuition this week. Opening your eyes a little bit more and trying to see the bigger picture rather than what your conscious minds and all the little patterns try to make it out to be. Try to see it from a different lens. Try to see through more of your higher mind, of maybe what spirit is trying to show you. What is the blessing? What is this teaching me? Yeah, and then we have this blood red color, pain. Yeah, so pain is reminding us that we're alive and having this experience. Pain is, the teacher. And I really like this saying that I learned in my course about therapeutic prayer, is that, suffering and pain is the teacher, and the lesson is the wisdom that we gain from it. But we're never given anything that we don't have the tools for at the time. So that could be why it seems like, why is everything keep piling on to me right now? And it's because you're ready to move past it. You're ready to say yes to these new opportunities, to grow, to be more loving, to be more in love with yourself and be more gentle. And so that's coming forward to acknowledge that you have the strength, you have the tools to do it. So anytime you feel a sense of doubt, or you feel, a sense of worry of not feeling capable, not feeling like you can go on any longer, taking a look and maybe just spending more time in that surrender. If you don't know the answers, that's okay. That isn't so much the point. It's that we're still learning. And that's where this intuition comes from, is trying to teach you to trust yourself more, trust that intuition, and trust that this is in your highest good as well, that you are not alone, you are supported. All right, and the last one we have is this sort of gray color for ghost. So I feel like in this term for ghost, I feel like this is almost like ghost of past is what came to mind first. Like our ghosts, our demons, things that we haven't really worked through or are kind of haunting us. And are just kind of this energy that bogs us down behind the scenes, is just making itself known. It's kind of this sort of poltergeist energy. It's affecting everything that's going on in the present. It's disturbing our peace. So there is something, I think, coming forward from the past that is really asking you to kind of look and reflect this week, asking you to no longer ignore this, to no longer try to hide it down, or to, ghosting can even be like moving away from it, disappearing. Something else is coming through. I feel like with this ghosting energy, some of you could be acting like that ghosting energy, like you're really trying to avoid any sort of responsibility. Like this may only be for some of you, but there could be hurt that you were involved in with others, where you might have been the one who had caused the hurt for someone, and you're just kind of ghosting and not acknowledging. Maybe someone has come back into your life to really kind of either reconcile or try to repair this, and you're just not really wanting to see it. You're just kind of blanking it out. But this is, it's not only like good for them, but this is something that would be beneficial for you, and just looking at why you're resisting it and why you're trying to kind of keep yourself bound in this guilt, maybe. Because that could be part of the reason why it's really hard to find it. But this bound energy is really ready for you to cut those ties. You don't have to keep living with it anymore. So that's just for some of you. So, taking your action in your own time as you need. But if you are avoiding this situation, touch back into that intuition and see if you can maybe surrender and get comfortable being in that painful energy once again, and trying to release it. Okay. All right. So that was our tarot and oracle. Let's take a look at what's going on in the astrology this week. Okay, so on Sunday, we just had Mercury, our sign of communication and technology, as well as how we communicate, how we connect, moved into the sign of Taurus. So this could really be, we're starting to kind of verbalize, again, this Taurus energy. We're starting to verbalize our needs, verbalize, our creativity, verbalize our beauty. We could be really having those sort of things speak to us from the cosmos as well. So we could really be finding inspiration. We could be looking to those things that really connect us also financially, because Taurus does sometimes have to do with our financial part of our lives, to do with money and comfort and material things. So we could be looking at how we find more meaning and love in our work. So trying to find new avenues of being creative, trying to have ideas that also can bring us abundance, and starting to sort of communicate that out into the world, communicate it with others. We could be really drawn mentally to the arts. So you could be spending time with music or painting. Just anything that really says beauty to you is going to be really nice during this period. Especially now that we're moving through the full moon, it could be a good time to really mentally check in with those thoughts of how we perceive things, like remembering to look at the beauty in life, remembering to look at the love in life and not just all the negativity. All right, so then on Thursday, we have Mars, our planet of drive and action and passion, moving into the sign of Pisces. So with Pisces being a water sign, especially a mutable water sign, Mars doesn't feel quite as at home in this energy. Feels a little bit stifled and kind of a little frustrating, because Pisces is really prone to dreams, and it can also be prone to these illusions of making things bigger and more dramatic than they need to be. It can be a good time to, make those dreams happen. But because Pisces is so fluid, we could, if you're not really a flow person, be kind of feeling frustrated that the energy is not so easily directed. So again, this week, that energy of surrender can really come in and help you, and trusting your intuition as well, rather than falling into the illusion. What part of your dreams need more action right now? What part of, Mars is going through an ending cycle as well. So that could be this energy of what's ready to come up to be released, so that you do have this powerful manifestation energy behind you when Mars then eventually moves into its home sign of Aries. And that will be really like the push time. So we're kind of finishing out these little things. Emotions could be running kind of high. We could fluctuate between all sorts of different things. So if you feel like people are kind of, maybe a little bit flaky, or things just aren't happening in time, just kind of tap into the flow again. Tap into, maybe you need to have this period of withdrawal and putting the pieces together for yourself. All right, so then we have our full moon is happening on Saturday the 16th, and it's happening in the sign of Libra. So in this deck, a win-win outcome is forecast. So, Libra being all about the balance, all about relationships. I think this could be speaking for some of you, where I was talking about that ghosting energy before, where you were kind of maybe trying to avoid it. Or maybe for some of you too, like a ghost from the past, like somebody is trying to reach out to reconcile with you, and apologize for the hurt that they've made, and you may not be ready to let it go. It's coming forward because it's a win-win for everyone. It's this elevation. It's going to be this, creating heaven on earth. Like, it's going to give you peace. It's going to give the other person peace. It's going to really start to shift the energy to be more balanced, to be more beneficial. And this could be a karmic release. You could have a karmic partner, or just somebody that you had karma with, whether it was a relationship or a parent, a sibling, a coworker, whatever, just karmically, like something was coming from it and you really didn't want to deal with it. And all of a sudden this person is reaching out. And this karma is ready to be resolved, but it's also up to you about, are you ready to let this go? Are you ready to unbind yourself from the heavy energy? Or are you going to kind of hold on to that pain, hold on to that suffering, rather than surrendering and letting it go? Sorry, I dropped one of my cards. So then looking at the degree that's happening in Libra is 26. So it's in the third decade of Libra, which is represented by the Four of Swords in the tarot. And this is the Moon Child Tarot. So yeah, this is a time to really go within, a time to meditate. There's another full moon again. So yeah, this full moon is really important this week, guys, for releasing and cutting those cords, because this is the original Three of Swords, and we're sitting on this fourth sword, but we're not quite ready to pick up and go just yet. We're ruminating in that hurt. We're trying to understand it. We're pulling the blessing from the pain, from the torture, from this lesson, and we're learning to see the beauty again. So this will require a lot of stillness and a lot of honesty, a lot of inner honesty. So this might be a good moon to just relax and take some time to meditate to yourself. It's not a very, social moon. So whether this was from somebody who did hurt you, or from you potentially being the one that hurt someone else, this is ready to be healed and let go. And for some of you too, obviously, if this was a situation where, the person hurt you and, they're reaching out, this isn't saying that you have to necessarily respond to that person or open up that channel of communication, especially if it was somebody that was really toxic. I don't necessarily see that in the cards as somebody being that way, but for some of you, it could be. This is, your own journey as well. It's more so just reflecting back to you. Are you ready to let go of that pain? Are you ready to take that in, look at the bigger picture of the whole experience and say, okay, how can I move on with this? How can I channel this so that I am uplifting myself rather than putting myself down any longer? I am ready to let go of the pain. I'm ready to let go of the suffering. Okay, so yeah, a lot of deep meditative energy, really spending some time resting for this full moon and potentially for the following 2 weeks until we come into the new moon energy. So take all that time to rest and recuperate. Really ruminate on what is happening through this situation. Okay. All right. So yeah, the lesson this week all around, I would say, is accepting your blessing. Open yourself to receiving a blessing this week. Whatever that might look like for you. And even if it doesn't look like a blessing right away, being open to looking at it from a new perspective and allowing yourself that time to heal. Okay. All right. That is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment below if it really resonated with you. I love to hear your stories and your experience. If you want a full moon in Libra reading, you can click on the link below to get your own personal reading to see what's happening for you around this full moon. I do them in person or via Zoom, as well as any sort of soul coaching if you want to place some intention moving forward from this lunar phase. All right. So thank you so much once more. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care.